Thank you, Tony. You know, the timing of the tap, just like in Laguna Hills, was perfect. As Tony mentioned, we're going through a study right now to update our zoning code to match our general plan with focus on mixed use. And on paper, this site looks like a great TOD opportunity with SCAG and OCTA looking at transit opportunities for the right-of-way. You know, we thought, perfect, let's look at a TOD opportunity here. But as Tony mentioned, the timing of those kinds of projects does put it out in the future, and it doesn't really help us to do something today. Taking a step back, this intersection, Burgers and Chapman, Tony referred to the shopping center to the north, which unfortunately we don't have a picture of it in the book, because I think that would really start to see how we can tie these two centers together. But back in the 80s, okay, you can see the center to the north now. This was considered one of the premier retail intersections in all of Orange County. In fact, to the north, the big box off to, I'm doing it by memory, is the first Costco in Orange County. And the big box on the south side was the first Pavilions in Orange County. So in the late 80s, this was considered one of the premier retail opportunities in all of Orange County. Unfortunately, I don't know, almost overnight, the population shift changed and the demographics changed. And within just a matter of a few years, this was no longer the hotbed for retail. In fact, we had to find another location for the Costco, otherwise they would have left town. And over time, the Pavilions converted to a Vons, and eventually Vons left the big box here on the south side. So just like in Laguna Hills, retail was not going to be the answer. And so how do you inject other uses to make this still a vibrant opportunity and place for the community? And it was through this process that we sort of had an epiphany. We looked at the north side, and the big box there in the center is a 16-screen Regal Theater. And we worked really hard to bring a theater to town, and we were successful, and it's a very nice state-of-the-art theater. But it was never looked upon as an asset for the intersection. It was only looked upon as perhaps an anchor for the north side, and the south side, there was never an attempt to try to build off of that or take advantage of that. And it was through this TAP exercise and evolving from a TOD to a POD, pedestrian-oriented development, that we realized, wait a minute, we've been missing this boat for 5 or 6 years after the theater arrived. So by looking for that connectivity between the south side and the north side, and having the anchor of a movie theater and not having taken advantage of that, it opened our eyes and gave us a chance to rethink what could happen on the south side. It doesn't have to be a retail-based operation. Maybe it's uses that are compatible to the movie theater. If people are coming here for the movie, what other things can we offer them at this intersection? Or what other things could be here that they would think of this as a family entertainment opportunity? So that was, it was something that was new for the city. We were always looking at this south side as, well, how do we make this work as a retail center? And of course, with the retail market being very difficult, we kept striking out. So by looking at the pedestrian-oriented opportunity to connect these two centers and look at uses, other entertainment uses that would complement the movie theater and take advantage of them, that was very enlightening. And fortunately, we had the property owner from the north side attend our TAP, We had representatives from the property owner to the south side, and it was as if they've never, well, they haven't. They had never spoke or even met. So that was the other takeaway, was that it really allowed the owners of both centers to kind of look at each other and go, yeah, why haven't we talked? So that was a great opportunity, and that will certainly be one of the next steps that we as a city will try to orchestrate. There was a question, I think, with Laguna Hills, was there ever an opportunity to convene these parties? And sometimes it does take the city to be that facilitator. And so we're looking forward to doing that shortly. But it did provide the city with another way to look at this. We were always thinking, what do we do on the north side to make the north side successful? What do we have to do on the south side to make the south side successful? But never, what do we look at collectively and pretend that Chapman Avenue doesn't exist? And how do we create the situation where, again, you park once and take advantage of the different uses? So it was a fantastic exercise, and one that we're certainly looking forward to implementing as soon as we can.
Thank you very much, Matt. Really appreciate it. I think you can see by this conversation is that we started off in one direction, and we were all full of vinegar as professionals to try to solve these problems, and with all our tools, did all the research in the world, spoke to, as you can tell by the outreach that we did, spoke to a lot of folks who had different opinions about what was supposed to happen. We had some preconceived ideas about super trains coming in and parking on a 30-acre site for no apparent reason. And I think that through our discussion, through that outreach, and certainly through the conversation, it was determined that it was not just about developing this site. The biggest reason why this site hadn't been redeveloped in a very long time is because the owners weren't working together. They weren't really that interested in solving the problems. They were just interested in their own issues and dealing with their problems individually. And by bringing the TAP together and having a forum by which it was non-competitive. And the reason being is because as we got through the process, it was pretty clear we weren't going to have a solution. We weren't going to have a illustration, per se, of this is exactly what you need to do. You know, so many units of residential over the top of so much commercial, we're going to jackhammer that guy's building, and we're going to bulldoze that. We walked in to the conversation saying, what can we do with the existing architecture? What can we do with the existing facilities, and how can we get it together so there isn't that sense of you know, the competitive multi-lot type of activity. And the advantage to it is that the city has some illustrations that they can talk about. Certainly a really nice sketch that shows, I think it's Verona or something, which is, I think, excellent. Most of Southern California should look like Verona. But the nice part about it is they have a reason to have a conversation. They have a reason to have a vision, which is this possible entertainment district in the core of Garden Grove, which gives a new identity to this area, helps support an existing business, and then gives opportunities to people on the other side of the road, south side of our site, an opportunity to become something that they're not today. At this point, there's another map. See, the nice part about doing your slides at the last minute is you don't know what's on them. Yeah, I'm a later, okay? So, you know, obviously we started here, there's a lot of residential in this particular area. Here's this really strong center, a Costco that won't go away. And as you might imagine, especially, is there another map that shows like the city as a whole? Next time. The nice part about it is this particular area is remote from a lot of the current activity in Garden Grove. If you go to Garden Grove, it was the power center. It's now has an opportunity to become that. And hopefully, we hope that someday this will become a strong link between LA and Santa Ana, and we have the opportunity to have this become a TOD as well as a POD. I thank you very much. We'll answer any questions you may have. I'm sure we have plenty of time left.